Do you find content exhausting? Everybody keeps telling you to just copy viral outliers from other people in hopes that you'll go viral too. But if you follow that advice, you may get some views, but you're going to end up making content that looks exactly the same like everybody else. And if you're clearly a copycat, you're not a thought leader now, are you? And why would anybody buy anything from a copycat? So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you 3 things. The first one, the actual content strategy you should be using, what your channel should be actually about, and lastly, how should you actually use viral outliers in your content strategy. And if you do all these 3 things right, you will stand out easily and get more people to buy your stuff. Let's go. When I started this whole content thing, you typically would learn to make content from joining somebody's course or get a mentor, and they all tell you the same thing. This thing is working, copy it, you'll get traction too. But I find a huge problem with that advice because that is an advice for YouTubers, not for business owners who are using YouTube to promote their business. And if you be copying other people, and maybe it does get views, but what you realize really quickly that the thing that you try that does get views may have nothing to do with the thing that you're trying to sell. So now you accidentally build an audience of people who would never buy from you anyway. So what's the point? So what I realized after spending $15,000 on coaching programs that they all tell the same thing is that we all selling a commodity. You're selling the same thing as other people. I'm selling the same thing as other people. But what would make somebody buy this commodity thing from you specifically? There's only 2 reasons. Reason number 1 is if you're the cheapers. And reason number 2 is if they like you, they'll buy from you. I don't know about you, but I don't want to be the cheapers. So that leaves me with how can I make content to make people like me enough that they want to buy my stuff? So I've been experimenting all these years and I document each and every one of my experiments. And now my entire business is basically on this one sheet of paper. So one of the easiest way to stand out without being the cheapest is to rely on your backstory. You're so used to hustling all the time. You forgot to sit down and ask yourself, what do you want to do? So this exercise, I want you to ask, what problems have you overcome in your life? No matter how big or small. So whatever it is, list down all the things that you have overcome in your life. Now really spend a couple of hours, for some people a couple of days to do this. Sometimes it's even good to ask a really good friend of like, hey man, what do you know about me that I'm really good at, but maybe I can't see myself? Usually your family member or your best friend could tell you that right away. For now, I'm just going to tell you my story, how I got into what I'm doing today. I got laid off 3 times. I was so fed up, I didn't feel secure at all. Before I got fired, I was running a bunch of YouTube channels. I make educational videos, and then I got people to contact me for help so I can do the same thing for their business. And that's when I realized rather than becoming a YouTuber, might as well be a business owner with an offer that I'm helping other people. And then the YouTube channel is promoting that. 2 years ago, I joined a marketing coaching program and they helped me kind of figure out, get clients. And I was making quite a lot of money, but I was really burned out. And to the point that like, hey, this is actually worse than my job. So what's the point of doing this? So I had this identity crisis a little bit. Now I'm experimenting with different business models that give me enough money and something that I genuinely like to do. That was my past. The future is where I'm going, right? So I'm on a mission to help other people who are a couple of steps behind me figure this out together. So that's my backstory. It has 2 core elements, the past and where I'm going. The past is what makes me credible. Where I'm going makes people want to follow me. So to figure out your backstory, it's actually just 5 steps. So number 1 is pain. You were in some sort of pain. And number 2, something happened that triggered you to do something about it. Number 3, what is your struggles along the way? Plus, very important, how do you feel at the time? Because this makes you vulnerable and people can relate to you on a human level. And 4, after you've done all the thing, what was your insight? Knowing what you know now. 5, this is the promise. This is where you tell people, now you know all this, now you're helping other people do the same thing, right? So your backstory can use this exact formula. So let's take a look at my story again. The pain, I felt trapped in my job. I felt like I'm limited. People don't really notice me and I have more things to contribute to the world, but I'm not getting that in my job. So that was the pain. The triggers, I got laid off. The 3rd time, that was enough. I need to take control of my life and have my own source of income. Number 3, the struggles and my feelings. Okay, so the struggle was I joined a bunch of coaching program for marketing agencies and tried to teach me how to make money online, but they didn't teach me anything I didn't know, and I rarely get to see the coach that I paid for. They just passed me around to these junior coach that I had never heard of. So my feelings at the time were I feel cheated and I felt like I was the oldest person there in this coaching program, which makes me feel embarrassed. So eventually I figured out that I don't have to become an influencer, nor do I have to become a marketing bro. There's somewhere in between and nobody's really talking about that. So the promise is now I help other people like me who don't want to be an influencer or marketing bro, but they want to become niche famous, which is the methodology that I teach my clients. So you can see that the backstory is just these 5 points, and you can use this as a template to figure out what your backstory is. So the beauty of knowing your backstory is 2 things. Number 1, it makes you unique. And it also makes you confident and feel qualified to teach and charge money for the thing that you're trying to sell because it's based on your backstory. The next thing you want to do is figure out what your channel is actually about. So if you're not clear on what your channel is about, not only will your audience be confused, but the algorithm will be confused as well because quite frankly, you're confused. So the point of this video is to make you clear on what your channel should be about. So in order to nail this down, I'm going to explain to you a concept called hell to heaven. This is hell and this is heaven over here. Your channel is about helping your target audience go from hell to heaven. If they watch enough of your videos, they would reach heaven. So in my case, hell is that they're not getting inbound leads or opportunities from YouTube. So heaven is a place where they get inbound opportunities coming to them without them paying for ads or asking for referrals. So in order for them to get from hell to heaven, they have to go through this path. But along the path, they need to achieve 3 checkpoints. What are the 3 major checkpoints that they must go through in order to reach heaven? So in my case, checkpoint number 1 is that they have a unique brand. That means they stand out and they don't blend in copying everybody's videos out there. Checkpoint number 2, they have their first 5 YouTube videos on their channel. And that's the minimum amount of videos that you need to start getting some sort of traction because most of my audience, they don't want to become a content creator. So checkpoint number 3 is they start getting opportunities. Now this could be in the form of people wanting to work with you, leads, people coming into your email list, people coming into your community, people buying your offer, people buying your workshop, stuff. That means these come to you rather than you chase the opportunities, right? So if they achieve step number 1, step number 2, and step number 3, they would eventually reach heaven, right? So this is what my channel is about. Checkpoint number 1 to be one playlist of stuff. Checkpoint number 2 would be my second playlist of stuff. And checkpoint number 3 could be my fifth playlist. Because in order for them to achieve checkpoint number 1, they need to solve a couple of problems. In order for them to achieve checkpoint number 2, they need to solve a couple of problems. And the same thing for checkpoint number 3. Each and every one of these problems is an individual video. So this is what your channel is about. Your channel is helping your target audience, often a past version of you, achieve the thing that you have overcome. And in order for them to achieve that final thing, they need to achieve these 3 checkpoints. And within these 3 checkpoints, there's a bunch of videos teaching people how to do that. So this is your content strategy, not copying viral outliers by random people. So is this making sense? Leave a comment down below. So does that mean that we are not using outliers anymore? We are. But before this, most people say, find an outlier because this is getting views, then create your version and somehow this is going to turn magically into money. I don't think this works. So what we're doing now is we have an audience. The audience have problems. Our video is solving these problems, but we're using outliers to package that video idea. Now this makes sense as a business owner, not as a content creator. Before you start making YouTube videos, you probably heard content gurus say, oh, post 1 video a week. But do you know that you don't have to post every week because you can start getting inbound opportunities from your YouTube channel with just 5 videos. And if you want to know how to make these first 5 videos that will get you inbound opportunities, watch this video next.